Folks, it's JP. We're out here in the hardwoods this morning, and it is good and cold. 17 degrees at legal shooting light, which is just after 7. Real feel 4. Sun's up, but it ain't warmed up much. It's about 9:30 now. Got some beard sickles. But we're gonna do a tale from the tree with old JP. So, as I mentioned, it's November 30th. So we're going to throw back to 2009. Morning of November 30th was opening day of deer gun that year. I was sitting on this ridge, way to the north though, way to the north, overlooking this creek bottom with like a southeast wind. Expecting to see deer coming up and down that creek bottom or whatever. And it was about 9:30 and I hadn't seen nothing but a bunch of squirrels. And I was sitting on the ground because I prefer to do my ground hunting, my gun hunting from the ground. I had my Remington 870 Wingmaster with the rifled slug barrel, 2 3/4. So it was about 9:30. I heard something rustling kind of over behind me, over my left. And man, I snapped my head around just like you're not supposed to. And there's a big old buck standing there, about 45 yards. And of course, he saw that movement, so he's locked onto me and I'm locked onto him. Looking back over my shoulder, I can't do anything. So after, I don't know, a minute or so, he takes a few steps and whips his head back at me. And I didn't move, I didn't fall for it. So finally he takes a few more steps, kind of gets behind a little bit of brush. And directly behind the backside of him was a big circle of briar and honeysuckle and just nasty thick stuff, where a big tree had fallen down a few years before, so with all that sunlight getting in, it kind of made like a big ring, a big circle of thick brush or briar, just whatever. Anyways, he starts moving again, and I swing that gun up, and just as he's about to hit an opening, I push that safety off, and it was a dead calm morning, mid-30s. And that safety went click. And boy, he didn't like that. He took a couple quick steps forward and got behind another tree. And by that point, he's like, man, something ain't right, so I'm getting the heck out of here. He spun and ended up circling around that thicket. So now he's about 55 yards or so. And I hopped up on my feet, threw my leg up on the log that I'd been sitting against, and he's trotting at a pretty good clip, heading back the way he'd come. And I just picked an opening, put the sights on it, and told myself as soon as his head hits that opening, pull the trigger. And that's exactly what I did, and he dropped instantly. So, plan worked out to perfection. My shot was a little high, ended up spining him right above the shoulder, and that's why he dropped. But anyways, I closed the distance up on him after that, and put one through his heart from about 20 yards. That is still the biggest buck I've ever shot. Big mainframe 8-pointer. He's got 3 little kickers, one off each G2 and then one off the base by his G2. Just really thick mass, super tall brow tines, just a stud. I got him scored last year. Finally went and got some deer scored last year. And he scored 157 and 7/8. That was 14 years later. So, could have been a 160 if I'd gotten them scored on time, or within a certain amount of time, but who cares about that at the end of the day? It was a fun hunt, big buck, great memory. Shot him with my dad's 870. That's what it's all about. But, it's cold. Might be getting down here for too long. I ain't seen nothing all morning. Anyways, thanks for tuning in for another Tales from the Tree with old JP.